the pretext and the context of why we set about to do this, right? Of course, a large amount of data gets generated all the time, and a lot of this is social chatter. In fact, apparently all the data that's out there, most of it was created in the last 2 years, which is mind-boggling to me. This data, as we have found out, contains pretty valuable and voluntary information about consumers' needs, their attitudes, their opinions, their preferences, what are they saying about my brand, whether they are even talking about my brand or they're always talking about some other brand. And it also needs, because of the sheer volume of data, sophisticated algorithms to filter, interpret, and decipher insights for brands and consumers. And I'm ever so grateful to the fantastic team of data scientists who work with us in Fractal to make sense of all this data. And the question is, can this lead to a better brand strategy? Can we use this usefully? And so this happens, right? So we talked a lot today about how do we process data, how do we make meaning out of it, what do algorithms do? So in order to make sense and decode social chatter to a useful purpose, which is to inform our brand strategy, what we need to do, obviously, is start with the data on the left-hand side of the chart, pre-process and clean one level for various aspects of social data, put that through a filtering mechanic, where not only are we looking at topics, but we are also using reinforcement from much later down in the line. So there is that aspect happening. Then put it through word to vec, LDA to vec kind of things. What are we doing essentially by looking at these algorithms here is to say, are there certain directions in which this chatter is going when I look at the context of my brands or categories or ancillary categories, right? So if I'm in a dish care category, are there certain aspects of that category that are emerging in this chatter? Is there a direction? Once you get a direction, then what we do is try to assign some weight, some importance to that direction to say, is this something that has a lot of volume in chatter, and is that growing? So as an example, in dish detergents, lemon fresh is a very common attribute. It gets a lot of chatter, but the chatter doesn't necessarily grow. So it just reinforces that, yes, that's a thing. It doesn't tell us that it's a growing thing that you need to pay importance, pay attention to. So what we are trying to decipher, therefore, with this very complicated algorithm is what of all that chatter is meaningfully important to my brand strategy. Is there a flavor that's emerging? 5 years ago, was sriracha a thing that came up in chatter? Of course, yes. Gluten-free 7 or 8 years ago, was that a thing? Yes. What is the next thing? And this is sort of a million-dollar question that we are attempting to solve in the category context.